So, welcome to our early morning strength class. Let's have the feet underneath the hips. Take a nice big circle with the arms up and then reach them forward and down. Let's do that 2 more times. So circle up to the side, reach forward and down, and again, circle up. This time, bring the hands to the thighs and we'll do our fun cow and cat thing. So just waking up through the spine, extension, rounding up, spinal flexion. Let's do that 2 more times. That feels good. And then bring the body all the way up again. Circle the arms up, hook the thumbs together, and imagine that you're pulling the hands apart. And at the same time, imagine you're bringing the hands back behind you. Inhale, reach up from the side body, and exhale, side bend to your right. Pushing in with the left foot into the mat. Inhale, come up, exhale, side bend to the left. Keep imagining you're pulling the hands back as you're doing this. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release the right arm down to that left, or right hand down to that left hip, and left hand behind the low back, a little twist here. And then swing around. Let's do the same thing on the other side. That nice little twist happening. Come back to center. Circle the arms up again. Hook the thumbs the more awkward way, the way that doesn't come quite as naturally. And imagine you're pulling them apart again and pulling the hands back. Inhale, lift up through the side body like you're lifting the side away from the hips there. And then exhale, side bend to your left to begin this time. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, release down. Hands to the hips, lift all 10 toes and spread them really wide. Lower the big toes only, and then lower the rest of the toes. Shift your body weight to your right leg and lift the left leg up so you're balancing. Now lift all 5 toes of that right foot up and then lower the big toe and then the other toes. And now release that left foot down, shift your body weight to the left leg, lift the right leg up, lift all the toes on that left foot, lower the big toe down only, keeping the other toes lifted, and then press the other toes down. Nice, little wake up through the feet there. Take the feet wide, turn the toes out. And without going into the wide-legged squat yet, just do a little easy side-to-side movement here. So very easy, just kind of opening up, bringing some heat into the hips. A couple more times. 1 more each side. And then come back center. Lower the hips down, aiming to have the legs parallel to the floor, almost parallel to the floor. It might feel more comfortable to slide the feet out even just a little bit more as you do that. And now from here, from this lower position, slide right and left again. Get some movement happening through those hips, working the upper legs a little bit. That feels good. I just have to tell you that I can actually see clear sky, possibly a sunrise. We've had so much gray weather. It feels like such a gift to see the stars and then the sun come up. All right, 1 more time each side. Come back to center, lower those hips down, maybe just a little bit more. Make sure you're really tall through the spine, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, come all the way up. Almost locking the knees, but not quite. And then down again. Exhale, come up, inhale down. Now, as you're doing this, we really think about the inner thigh work here. So imagine the inner thighs are pulling toward each other. And that's actually what's making the hips move up and down. Keep going with that. Let's do 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Take it down low. Take it low. Lift both heels up. Just hang out here. Both heels lifted. Nice. Stay with it. Crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. And now slide right and left. Still with the heels lifted. Yeah, that changes things. Doesn't have to be a really big move. Just a little move. Challenges the quads. Keep going. 3 more to each side. 2. Last one. Come back center. Lower the heels down. And now walk the feet in. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Give a little shake out. And now let's grab our band. Let's do our lat pull downs. As we did on Monday, balancing on one leg. So if you'd like to get the arms up in position first for the lat pull downs, and then shift your body weight to the left leg, bring the right leg up. and you can just hold it up off the mat like an inch, or you could bring the knee right up, whatever your preference. Take an inhale here, exhale, pull down and back. Inhale, release, exhale, down and back. Good work, keep going, 10 more. 10, 9, 8. Keep counting it out, breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3. We're going to add on to this series. So stay balancing on that leg. Arms come up to your start position. Keep that right hand anchored. Pull the left arm down and back. So wow, that challenges the balance. Yeah. Just four more of these. 4, 3. We're doing this to challenge the balance. You may notice I have really challenged mine today. Okay. And release that leg down. Give it a little shake out. Keep the band in your hand. Feet are under the hips. Let's go into a neutral stance squat. So arms out in front. Bend the knees and hips. Lower down into that squat. Lift all 10 toes and keep them lifted. Exhale to come up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, come up. Keep going. 10 more. 10. Toes are staying lifted through all of this. 9, 8. Keep going. As you're coming up now, start imagining that your feet are dragging away from each other as you're coming up. Yeah. How many more do we have? Let's do 2 more. That might be 12, that might be 14, I'm not sure. Okay, keep it up at standing, release the toes down. Beautiful, give the arms a little shake out, and then grab your band, position it for the lat pull down again. Shifting your body weight to the right leg, lifting the left knee this time. Inhale, exhale, pull down and back. Nice and strong. Yes, 10 more.
That's what I figured.
9. I think my watch just talked to me. I don't know, you guys, what's going on in these 7 a.m. classes. That's so crazy. I don't know if you heard that little speaking to me. And now I've totally lost my count. I think we're at 2 more. Remember, we're keeping going. So bring the arms up, anchor the left hand this time, pull the right arm down, 6 of them. This is a good challenge for the balance because it's just a little bit off center. 3 more. 2. And last one. Nice work. Release that leg down. You can put the band off to the side, or you could keep a hold of it if you want to. We're going back to those squats we were doing. I'm just turning sideways this time so that you can have an idea of how far my body is going down. Arms come out in front, or you can keep the hands at the hips if you prefer. Sit down, so bend the knees and the hips. Lift all 10 toes again. This time for 12 counts as you come up. Imagine the feet are dragging away from each other as you come up. So take an inhale right here in this lower position. Exhale, come up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come up. So really focus on that. As you're coming up, you're imagining the feet, although they're super glued to the mat, they're dragging away from each other. 8 more. 7, 6, 5. Toes are still lifted. 3 more. 2. And last one. Lower down, lower down. Lower the toes, lift the heels. Let's do 12 coming from the balls of the feet. Exhale, come up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come up. Keep going. 10, 9. Keeps being a little bit of a challenge on the balance as we do this from the balls of the feet. 6 more. 5, you'll get a little greater range of motion. 4, 3, 2. Last one, keep it tall and lower the heels down. Reach for your band, place it around your ankles. Hands at the hips, side leg press right and left. Now, this is a good time to brace through the abdominals. With your hands around your waist, you might feel those oblique abdominals really working here to keep your balance. Works the glute med. Really great to do these lateral moves. Since we work in the sagittal plane quite a bit, which is forward motion and backward motion, Keep going with this. We're almost there. 2 more each side. And that's it. Nice work. Step out of the band. Beautiful. Picking up the band. Let's work the outsides of the shoulders a little bit. So anchor the band at your left waist or hip, and then bend the right elbow and hug it into the waist. We are going to rotate here out to the side, but if you'd like to add the balance challenge, by all means, lift the leg of the hand that's doing the work. So lift the right leg up here. Take an inhale, exhale, rotate. Exhale, rotate. So the leg lift is optional. It's just a way to challenge the balance a little bit again. 8 more of these. 8, 7, 6. Keep going. 4, 3. When you get to the last one, hold it open, hold it wide there. So keep that rotation happening, and then push the hand away from the waist, and then bring that elbow back to the waist. Push away, bring it back. 4 more. 4, 3, 2. And last one, bring that elbow back in and then rotate the hand toward the front of the body again. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. So set up first, standing on both feet, and feel free to stay standing on both feet. Right hand is anchoring the band, left elbow is bent, and your left hand has the other end of the band. If you want to, this is the time to shift to one leg, so lift that left leg up off the mat. Inhale before you begin, exhale, rotate that arm out. Keeping that elbow hugging into the waist. 10 more. 9, 8, 7. Helps our breathing to count. 6, 5, 4, 3. Remember on the last one, we're keeping it rotated. Keep it rotated, and then push that arm away. Return. Push, return. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Nice. So that arm comes in, and then rotate back to the center and release it down. Beautiful. Give your arms a little shake. Take your bands off to the side. Let's go down to the mat and use our weight. So now we're actually working the same muscles, but we're working it with the weights. So find yourself on all fours. And again, it's been a while since we've done this, so I'll just demonstrate so you can see from the front. You could have your hands around your weights. If you have these dumbbell style weights, you could have your hand around both weights and keep the one that's staying on the ground in that position. That may help you to keep the wrists nice and straight. So if you've ever had wrist problems and don't really enjoy placing your palm on the hand, this is another option. So keeping the left hand grounded, right hand picks up the weight, bends at the elbows, crown of the head reaching forward. I might look up at the screen the odd time, but keep the crown of the head reaching forward so the neck is in neutral. Take an inhale, exhale, lift that whole bent arm up parallel to the floor, release. Bring it up and release. Keep going with that. So similar movement, not exactly the same as with the band, but similar. Target similar muscles, but maybe get some other muscle fibers working that we didn't with the band. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. Bring it back to the start position. Lower that weight down to the floor. Then bend the left elbow so you're holding the weight in the left hand now. Take an inhale right here. Exhale, lift the whole of that arm and release. Lift, lower. Good work. 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep going. 3, 2. Last one. Beautiful. Lower it down. Let's repeat that one more time, adding an extra balance challenge into your workout here. So I'm going to turn sideways again so that you can see. We're set up in the same way. Going to that right arm again first. Lift it up, so bend the elbow so you're lifted into position. And now imagine that left hand is dragging back toward that right knee, and then lift that opposite leg up and back. Now let's do exactly the same motion. So lift that whole arm up and return to start. up, and return to start. So this is basically same work through the shoulders, but we're adding this extra abdominal challenge in. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, a couple more. Last one. Nice work. So now bring that hand down, leg comes down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm just turning around so you can see. We'll start with lifting that left arm into position and then lift the right leg up and press it back. You can imagine that right hand dragging toward that left knee. Take an inhale, exhale, lift the whole arm up and back to start. Up and back to start. 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep going, keep counting. 4. Really helps you breathe. 3, 2. Last one. And release that weight down to the mat and then bring the knee back down to the mat. Move the weights out of the way. Come down to the belly. Arms in cactus pose, forehead to the mat. Work the muscles in the back a little bit. Just wiggle through the hips so that the tops of the thighs feel like they're connected to the mat equally. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Keep the arms down, connected to the earth. Take an inhale right here with the forehead resting on the mat. And then exhale, lift head up and rib cage up. And then inhale to release back down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, release down. Keep going. 6 more. We're doing sets of 8 on this. 5. Subtle little thing you can add if you like to. As you lift the head and the rib cage, press the arms into the earth and drag them back. Deepens the back bend a little bit. Just 2 more. It's just a subtle little engagement in those arms as you're coming up. Last one. Lower it down. Stay there for a moment. Option to continue doing that, keeping the arms to the mat, or lift the arms up as you lift the head and the rib cage. Take an inhale right here. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep going. 8 of these. 6 more. And again, you can do this subtle little movement where you're squeezing the shoulder blades together as you're lifting the arms. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. Now bring the palms to stack and rest the forehead on those palms. Do a little rocking of the hip from side to side. Then find stillness. Right leg, lift and lower. Lift and lower. And as you're lifting that right leg, imagine that you're pushing the right hip into the floor. 8 more. So 12 sets of these. 6, 5, 4, 3. The leg is staying straight. This could be done with a bent knee, but it's nice to do it with a straight leg too. Release that leg down, same thing on the other side. So left leg lift and lower. Squeeze through those glutes. And as you're squeezing, imagine that your left hip is actually pushing toward the mat as you're doing that. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Nice. Lower that leg, and then again, a little rocking from side to side. Just kind of neutralizes the spine. Another way to do that is to actively pull the navel toward the spine. Now let's find stillness in the hips. Let's return to the forehead to the mat. Cactus pose in the arms. Options here, you can experiment with this to lift the head, rib cage, and arms, or go back to the head and rib cage lift both legs up only, or lift everything up and you're just on the belly. So You choose. Take an inhale right here while you're resting on the floor, and then exhale to lift. So choose the option that you would like to go with here. The whole body lift is a good way to strengthen the entire posterior chain of muscles and fascia. Let's go for 12 of these. So 8 more. 7, 6. Keep breathing as you exhale. As you come up, exhale. 3, 2. And last one, again, palm stack, forehead on those palms, rock the hip from side to side, and maybe pull the navel toward the spine as you're doing that rocking. All right, let's find stillness. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Palms are on the mat, Sphinx pose. Take a moment here, just imagine you're dragging the hands back and then release. Drag back and release. Every time you do that dragging back, notice if you're deepening the back bend here. It's a bit of a goal doing this dragging. 4 more. 3, 2. So it's like you're pushing the hands and arms down and pulling back. And release. Now, from the Sphinx pose, tuck the toes and then lift up through the hips so you're in plank. Walk the balls of the feet closer to the elbows, and now let's do that dragging effect again, but adding in the dragging of the feet forward, even though they don't go anywhere. So contract, dragging, release. Contract, release. Keep going with this, really strong. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. Stay in the plank. Do a little dip right and left with the hips. Stay in that plank. Crown of the head reaching forward. Yes, I needed to give that cue to myself because my head was hanging down there. Keep going with the dip. Feeling good and strong this morning. 3 more dips to each side. 2. Last one. And then lower the thighs, the belly, right down to the mat, palm stack, forehead rest again. Rock from side to side. Just relax there, take a moment. We shall return to that plank, and we will add some work to it that, again, challenges the oblique muscles. The plank in just its simple, stay in place form really targets transverse abdominis, which is excellent. It's nice to get in those oblique muscles as well. All right, find stillness in the hips. Come to your Sphinx pose, elbows underneath the shoulders, palms down. You could start by just imagining that you're dragging those hands back and they're not going anywhere because they're super glued to the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, walk the balls of the feet closer to the elbows. And at the same time, you could actually push the heels away. Arms are still dragging back. Now, lift the right leg up and then press to the side and come back, still lifted. Press to the side and come back. Keep going with that. 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Crown of the head reaching straight ahead of you. Bring that right leg back, lower it down. Do the same thing on the left side. Lift the left leg, press to the side, come back without lowering. Side and back. 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Beautiful. Lower that leg, release the thighs down, palms stack, forehead to those palms, and rock the hips from side to side. Very nice. From here, roll over onto your back. Yeah. Let's do a little inner thigh work. So on the back, to begin with, let's do something a little bit different today. Take the arms to cactus pose so you're getting a nice stretch through the front of the shoulders and the chest there. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees together, and then move the knees away and let the soles come together. So in yoga, we call this Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. From here, squeeze the thighs together and then release open, squeeze together, and then open. So a lot of this is the mental effort of imagining that you're moving your legs through mud and squeezing them together. 4 more. 3. And 2 more. Last one. Keep them squeezed together. Maybe separate the feet a little bit so they're more hip width distance. And then push your feet into the mat and lift up through the hips. Now bring the arms down underneath and stack the palms underneath your low back there. Then release the low back down to those hands. Now lift the feet, maybe one at a time, up so your knees are coming in toward the chest. And then position the feet so that they are parallel to the ceiling. And you may need to wiggle around a little bit and kind of move your hands maybe up the spine a bit so that you can actually have your feet parallel to the ceiling. And then straighten out those legs. And now let's do that out and in motion with the legs. So take the legs out, bring them in, out, and bring them in. And again, imagine that you're moving your legs through mud. So it's a very conscious squeezing of those inner thighs together. Sort of similar to what we did when we were in that wide-legged squat. Keep going with this, squeeze. Keep pushing the heels toward the ceiling. Let's just do a couple more. And now keep those feet together. Imagine that your feet are hugging a pole that's going down through your navel, and then slide those feet down the pole, let the knees go wide, and then press back up the pole, slide down, press up, slide down. Now this is one of those exercises where going a little slower is really helpful because it helps you to really push through that complete range of motion. So really push the heels back up toward the ceiling and slide all the way down, imagining that those feet are sliding up and down right over the navel. Keep going. 2 more. Press, lower, press. Now keep it in that straight leg position, pull the toes back toward the shins, and then take the legs really wide again and just do a little tiny pulsing there with those really wide legs. Yeah, so inner thighs are facing the ceiling right now. Few more. Just little pulses. Try to keep any motion in the low back, pretty negligible. Find stillness. Bring the feet all the way back together. Bend the knees. Lower one foot and then the other foot. Nice. And then push the feet into the mat. Lift the hips up off your hands and release down. Just do a little easy rocking of those legs from side to side. And bring those hands back to cactus pose as you're doing that. So just an easy windshield wiper movement of those legs. Get a little twisting in there. And then bringing it back to center. Or if you want to, you could just roll all the way to one side and press yourself up to seated. Another option would be to hug the legs in, hands behind your hamstrings, and roll all the way up. And then find a seated position. Beautiful. Easy cross-legged pose. Press the hands into the thighs, nice and tall through the spine. Beautiful. And then let's do another little twist, a deeper twist from just that rocking from side to side. So hand reaching over to the outside edge of that left thigh. Other hand can come back to the floor, maybe behind you. But if that's not accessible, just take it to the low back. Use the hands, both hands, to pull yourself into a deeper twist. Take a full deep breath there. And then come back to center. Do the same thing to the other side. Left hand over to the right thigh, right hand behind to the floor or to the low back, your choice. Use the hands though. Pull and actually even push into the low back or push into the floor to bring yourself into that deeper twist. Nice tall spine, crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. Take another full deep breath here. And then sliding all the way back to center. Change the positioning of this cross-legged pose. Bring the hands to the floor in front of you and then inhale, lift up through the spine. Exhale, slide the hands forward and just fold over those bent legs. And then come all the way up again. Let's do that 2 more times. So just make it a little dynamic. And 1 more time. And coming up. Beautiful. We've actually gone a minute over time. So bravo. Give yourselves a hand. High tens to everybody.